You're live. Yes. This literally feels like, well, I guess this is kind of like Instagram Live. I'm like waiting for people to join, waiting for people to join. Hey, y'all. Welcome back to another community time. It's your girl, Brelynn here. Hey, y'all. Okay, I'm gonna give people a minute. What time is it? 7 o'clock on the dot. Your girl's on time today. I think it was on time last time too, but I was like cutting it, cutting it close. Um, Thanks for being here, you guys, for another community time. I'm so excited to talk to you all today and to catch up. Okay, looks like people are joining. People are joining. Thanks for joining me. All right, we're going to get into everything. We've got things to catch up on. I can't wait to hear about your week so far and your days and whatnot. If you guys are just stumbling across this video, welcome. My name is Brelynn. This is the Beauty and Brains Community Time, which is an interactive live YouTube show where like-minded professional school students and young adults can congregate, network, exchange advice, and take a break away from our studies and busy lives for community, connection, peer mentorship, and encouragement. So happy Wednesday. We're going to be here every Wednesday live at 7, and I'm so happy that you all are here with me today. As everybody is just coming in, I want to start us off with the verse of the day. It's like a little mini Bible study, is kind of like my thoughts of what's been going on with me and my relationship with God so far. And while I'm doing that, I encourage you all to talk back to me in the live chat. Let me know where you guys are watching from, what's been going on in your life, what's going on in your week, good news, bad news, all the things. Spill the tea. And I'm going to spill my tea after we get into the God word. Okay, so the verse of the day is Psalms 46:10, which is be still and know that I am God. I will be honored by every nation. I will be honored throughout the world. So this verse, let me think. This verse actually has nothing to do with like my mini Bible study or like my thoughts going on right now, but it was just the verse of the day that I had already scheduled for today. So we're just going to go with it. But let me tell you guys about what I've been kind of praying to God about. And I'd be very curious to know you guys' experience with this and even just like your thoughts on it, or even, like I said, what you're praying about right now. Mine is having vulnerability with God. So, you guys have heard me say vulnerability a lot. And like when I was promoting for my podcast back when I was like making the transition from Brelynn Barbie to like just Brelynn Hun. And even in this last transition of me being like, no, this is me just being Brelynn, I always use the word like transparency and vulnerability. And I definitely feel like those are like true characteristics for just the type of person that I am and also the type of content that I want to put out there for people. And so I find it to be very interesting that I'll tell you guys about this later, but I basically had some friends over and we were talking, and the topic of conversation was how I'm not a vulnerable person. And I was so confused. I was like, who's not a vulnerable person? I was like, now y'all got to be lying, because not only do I wish I would shut my mouth, but I'm like, I'm an oversharer. I share too much. I literally put it all on the table. Like I I definitely think that I'm a vulnerable person. And even with that conversation, I was talking to somebody about like how that bleeds into my relationship with God and how like I'm not being fully vulnerable with him. And I was like, I don't think that's true. But if all these people who are like my close friends were telling me this, I was like, okay, well, then I have to take a moment and like, take a look on the inside and see if this is true or not. And, the verdict is still out. But what I am doing is trying to ground myself in the idea of, even if I think that I already am, to go even further with my vulnerability with God. Hey girl, hey to everybody who's joining, or hey boy, hey. So I was like doing some research about this. This is what kind of like my little mini Bible study was this past couple of days. And it says that being vulnerable is the act of opening yourself up completely and showing your raw and real self without holding anything back. By being able to do this, you establish a sense of trust with someone, which is one of the most important components and factors of a relationship. So I'm like, okay, I feel like I am not a horoscope girly, and I'm also not a Capricorn. So neither one of those things apply to me. um, in regards to them not being vulnerable, let me know, Taylor. So with my conversation of like my vulnerability with God, I've kind of been working on, okay, what does it look like to completely open up my heart to God and willingly receive what he has to offer? And I feel like I do a lot of that already because, I very much so pray, not my will, Lord, let yours be done. Even if I'm like, I don't really mean it, but I mean it, but I don't, but I do, but I don't, but I do, I don't, I do. But I also want you to do what I want you to do. You know what I'm saying? When we have those moments, I still am putting myself in a position where I'm laying everything on the table and like just talking to God through prayer. And with that, what's helping me and what always helps me, and I've mentioned this before, is kind of just like remembering who God is in the sense of like God is loving and he's forgiving and he's merciful and he's caring and he's accepting and he's generous. And so knowing that he loves me and he cares for me and all these things makes me then be able to trust him, which should then allow for me to A, not hold anything back because I trust like that he is able to handle the information. He's able to handle the heaviness of it, the ugliness of it, the anything of it, the real, the raw, all the things. And so I don't know. I thought this just been an interesting thing that's been going on in my mind lately because I'm kind of just like, I really thought that I was doing it. Like I thought that I was being vulnerable and I was out there, but apparently I could do more. And so for me, I'm just kind of doing the work to make sure that I'm not letting like any fears or judgment of even like the ones that I have of myself stop me from being vulnerable with God. Again, because of knowing like that he is forgiving and merciful and accepting, and instead just like relish in the fact that God is loving and caring and he wants to comfort me. And hopefully that allows me to open up my heart to him more. So I've been having more heart to heart conversations and yeah, we'll just see where that goes. But that's kind of where my Bible study has been at for the past couple of days. And I'd love to hear yours. And if not, we can get into the community updates. So I'm going to share some new things going on with me. And I encourage you all to share your own updates as well in the chat. I'm sitting here looking at everybody. Hey. So go ahead and comment if you have any updates, and I'll read them next. But first, let me take a sip of my tea, okay? Hopefully this thing is. Thank you. Oh, I should mention, yes, this hair is by Studio 92 Hair. It's the same hair that I was wearing last week, except for this was wand curled a couple of days ago, and this is it flexi rod. So I just put a couple flexi rods in it. Very cute, very cute. I'll have a link in the description box down below. I don't have one right now, but I don't think I can add it while it's live. But I am a hair ambassador for Studio 92 Hair, and so I honestly really recommend the hair. Y'all know that I'm not a big closure girl, but I've been sticking to it and it's been looking good even with all of my workouts and things. So again, this is the Indian deep wave hair and I have it in 26, 24, 22 with a 20-inch 4x4 closure. They just came out with 5x5 closures as well. So if you're interested, you can shop. I do have an affiliate link. Excuse me. I will post it on my Instagram after this, and I will also post it in the description box if you guys are watching the replay of this, or if you just want to come back later and get it. And if you want to use my discount code, it is Brelynn, which is my name, BRELYNN 10, the number 10, to get 10% off your order. Okay, let me take a sip. Yes, it is tea time. Okay, so speaking of, let's get into the mug of the day. It says Spelman Strong. If you guys have been watching the vlogs, you saw when I actually got this. And on this side, it says, may peace be with thee abide, which is our part of our Spelman hymn. So cheers. What tea you guys drinking today? So today's tea, I literally put it right here so that I wouldn't forget. But I have cinnamon apple spice. Even though it's getting, I don't know about you guys, it's November, like it's Christmas time, it's no longer fall, but obviously like the cinnamon apple spice, I got one for the fall time. So we're still gonna drink a little bit of that. And then also some of this organic raspberry tea. So if you guys are not hip, I'm sure it's probably really, really bright. I don't know if you can see it. But that's the combo. And I always usually drink a little cocktail for my teas, normally a couple of them at the same time. But this is the raspberry leaf tea, and this eases menstrual cramps and supports a healthy pregnancy. Clearly, maybe not. I'm not pregnant, but and I'm not on my period right now. But the key is that they said that you're supposed to be drinking these like a couple of days, if not like a week or two before your period starts. And I was lifting so heavy at the gym today. Like I felt like a beast. And I was like, that means my period's about to come. It's actually really crazy. I talked about this before, how I'm like cycle syncing with my workouts. And so it's so crazy how when you are specifically when you're in your luteal phase, how you are so weak. Like your luteal and your menstrual phases, you are me. I'm weak. Like I can't lift anything. Like 10 pounds. I'm like, ooh. But then like when I'm in my follicular phases, I'm just like, yeah, let's go, let's go. I'm able to do cardio. I'm able to do all the things. So yeah, that's another update as well. I kind of have been like slacking on the Stairmaster, and we talked about that last time. I've probably done it like 4 times, 3 or 4 times since we've last talked. There's times where I just don't have enough time to do an extra 15 minutes of my workout. And there's times where I'm like so tired. I'm like, I literally cannot do anymore, let alone the Stairmaster for 15 minutes. But it's okay. We're work in progress. We're just going to do little by little. So far, we're able to like keep it at the speed of 6 or 7 for 15 minutes and just getting a little bit extra cardio in. That way we can slim down just a little bit, but not too much because it is the holidays time. We're being generous on ourselves. Anyway, I said all that to say that the tea of the day is cinnamon apple spice and raspberry leaf in order to prepare myself for my period, because last month my cramps were so bad I had to take the whole day off. And literally I'm trying to understand like when are we going to get paid leave for our menstrual cramps, because they're literally getting worse as I'm getting older. And last month it was really strange for me because I was eating clean and I was working out and I was sleeping well. So I was like, so does my body just hate me? Like what's going on? I didn't understand. So this month I'm trying to make sure that everything's kind of like, I'm trying to do things beforehand, making sure that I'm still, like I said, drinking water, drinking my raspberry leaf tea, working out and things so that hopefully it's not too bad. I've got like a couple weeks, honestly, but I just want to make sure that I'm preparing myself. So that's the tea of the day. That's the mug of the day. I see you guys talking in the chat. The luteal phase be having me laid out somewhere like a damsel in distress. I'm saying. Yeah, you definitely have to be consistent with cycle syncing. Just in general, like you have to really like watch your cycle. Like you have to pay attention to it in order for you to sync it. Okay, let me give you guys my life updates. I finished the book. I finished it last night. I actually was like on the last 3 chapters for like 3 days. I could have finished it even sooner, but life was kind of crazy. If you guys don't know, this is The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, a Hunger Games novel by Suzanne. Did she go by Susan? Suzanne Collins? I've never known, but I gave it 5 stars out of 5. Now, I don't really know what my book review, I wouldn't say skills are, but my ratings are. I watch enough BookTube and Book Talk to know like the 5 star thing. I mean, maybe like 4.5. I really liked it. I honestly didn't expect it to turn out the way that it did. But like, obviously, we kind of know how everything ends because this is a prequel. But when it got to the last couple of chapters, I was like, I don't see how we're going to get from where we're at now to where the Hunger Games begins. But between the last couple of chapters, and there was a lot of twists and turns, and the epilogue, I'm super excited for the movie. I think I'm going to watch it either on Saturday or on Monday, but I'm so, 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 so excited to see it. Like, personally, for me, let me know if you guys were like a Hunger Games kind of girl, or if you were a Twilight girl, or if you were a Harry Potter girl, if you were a Divergent girl. I'm judging you if you were, but if you were, or like all the above. I was always a Hunger Games girl. This was like the only book to movie thing that I kind of watched. So I loved Hunger Games, and I watched all of them in the theaters, like the midnight premiere. I think I remember even for the last one, or maybe it was the second one, because which one was split into two? Wow, I should know this because there's not three movies, there's four. Um, oh, you said never have I ever watched a complete Harry Potter movie. No, me neither. I've never seen a Harry Potter movie. I thought you were gonna say I've never watched Hunger Games. I was about to be like, girl, get out this live immediately. No, I'm kidding. But yeah, I really, really like Hunger Games. I love the movies, and I used to go like and watch them. I'm not gonna go like when it premieres this year because I'm pretty sure it premieres like tomorrow night on Thursday, and I work on Thursdays like in office, so I'm just not gonna do that. But I'm definitely gonna go and see it. And I can't wait to see it because I even heard that it was like the best Hunger Games movie ever. So I'm trying to decide the next book that I want to read because I told you guys I'm kind of in like this book to movie kind of thing. So I haven't watched the movie yet for The Hate You Give, mainly because it's like it's not on Hulu, it's not on. I think I have to buy it on Amazon Prime or something. I'm going to watch that next. So I'm trying to decide if I want to watch the third book in that series or if I want to read the third book in the Black Girls Are Magic series. I think I'm going to put a poll on my Instagram and you guys can choose my next book. Mockingjay, thank you, had two parts. So yeah, I think it was maybe for the first Mockingjay, like Mockingjay Part 1, I believe that they had like this thing at the theaters where you could watch Hunger Games 1, 2, and then the movie. I remember I fell asleep in the theater because I was there for like 7 hours. Like it was so long. At the moment, it seemed cool and it was fun. And I was like front row, but child, then I was actually there. I was like, oh my gosh, this is too much. I haven't read any of the books, but I love Hunger Games, Divergent, Twilight, specifically Breaking Dawn Part 1 and Part 2. Okay. You know what? I understand the Twilight, at that time. I think that, like, Hunger Games is, like, timeless because I think I can still watch Hunger Games and be like, "This is amazing." Um, it was like a work shift. No, honestly. Yeah, do you remember that? Did anybody else do that? I literally tried to watch it, and I was like, "I cannot watch all of them." Have I heard of Black Cake? The book is good, I've heard, but the Hulu show was really good. Is that the one where the mom, um it's like a Jamaican mom and like she leaves something for her children and they're getting to know her? Is that show? Because my co-fellows were talking about that show. I didn't know it was also a book. Don't tell me that because now I want to read the book before I watch the show. I took a few naps, I'm not gonna lie. I literally don't even remember like watching the whole thing. Even now I'm thinking, do I want to watch the rest of the Hunger Games before I watch this one? Or since it's the prequel, do I want to go to the movies and then when I come back for the rest of the week, watch the Hunger Games? Like, what do I want to do? But I really haven't been watching TV like that because I've been in my book era. But anyway, that's one of my updates. I finished the book and I'm excited for the movie. And I'll let you guys know what I think about the movie next week when we meet. The next thing, speaking of work and my co-fellows, this week I completed my first programming event. We've done a couple of programs. One of them was like the annual legislative conference, which is like the big conference that the Congressional Black Caucus hosts. It was like really, really big. And as a fellow, like that was like my second week of work. So I was there and I was working, but it was really like just a whole bunch of like networking and parties, to be honest. And I was like, this is kind of crazy. And then another one that we ended up having, which we did help participate in regards to like planning and things, but it was virtual. And that was like the policy for the people. And it was an economic summit. So this one that we had yesterday, if you guys saw my Instagram story, was the National Racial Equity Initiative Summit, which is kind of like the umbrella of the research that I'm under. So I'm a John R. Lewis NREI, National Racial Equity Initiative Health Equity Researcher. So this was the NREI Summit. And so we had like 3 different panels. And specifically what I was excited about is that in addition to those panels, which we helped like create what the panels were, even like the setup of the entire summit, like to be a part of the planning from the beginning, creating what the summit was going to be, how many panels we were going to have, who was going to be in the panels, reaching out to them, figuring out the questions, figuring out the format, figuring out the layout. And then we ended up having like these interactive breakout rooms like during the lunch break. So that way people weren't just sitting down for a couple, like so many hours during the panel. And so specifically we had one panel that was about banned books and kind of like just the erasure of Black history in regards to not only like physically like through the books, but then also like them going against the AP African American history class. And so it was like a really nice thing because we had the panel on it and then it transitioned into the interactive room. So the room that I came up with, I think I told you guys this, maybe it was in a vlog. I've been vlogging, but I'm trying to catch up. Like right now, I'm currently editing the Europe vlog and it's taking me so long. I really wanted it to be up today. Maybe I can get it up for you guys tomorrow. Hopefully I can. But I don't even know unless I study for the rest of tonight. Uh, and the thing is, what sucks is that if you like, you can't upload a video on Friday because nobody watches like long 2 hour videos on Friday. So maybe I'll do Saturday and Sunday, or do I just wait until Sunday? I don't know. I don't know what to do, but because I'm going into work tomorrow, I won't be able to edit all day. And I was editing like all day today, and I'm only like 20 minutes in. But anyway, yeah, I was saying that the interactive room that like was my like conceptual idea and to see it come to fruition was called Make Your Good Reads Audible, where we had people come into like this virtual, well, not a virtual room, but it was a room where there were all of these like big posters of all the banned books. Excuse me, not all of them, but like some really popular banned books. And we had like free books for people to pick out that were banned as well. And then we had like this activation area where people could create a video, kind of like doing a book review. So it's like making your voice heard in the grand scheme of how banned books are still really important to like Black history, to really just all types of things like Black media and all these type of things. So it was really nice to see, hey, it was really nice to see my like vision, like something that I had in my head, go to paper, to go like to real life, and then to see everybody like participate in the room and really enjoy it. And like even the president and the like a lot of people were there and they really enjoyed the room. So I was super excited about that. And it was a successful day. So I did vlog this past week, so you guys will see that in an upcoming vlog. But literally, I promise you guys, you're going to see it on Christmas because that's how behind I am on my vlogs. I'm going to try and upload a couple of vlogs a week because I have to catch up. And last but not least, I have like a lot of updates. But my last update is that I hosted a friend's giving. I'm so excited. Wow, that was in that last vlog too. That's a fun vlog. I can't wait for you guys to see it. Too bad it's gonna be Christmas. But it was my first time hosting. I've never really hosted anything before. In my previous apartments, I like had the opportunity to, but I just didn't think about it, or I went to somebody else's things. But this year, since I have like this big group of friends with my cohort, and I've just been like, making new relationships with people in the city and things like that, I was like, okay, it's finally time. So not only did I host, but then I also cooked. And if you guys know me, I do know how to cook and I love my own cooking, but I get very insecure about other people eating my food because I don't want anybody to tell me that I can't cook. Because I'm just like, to me, that's like the most embarrassing thing, because it's one thing if I knew that I couldn't cook and then it's like, oh, you have my food. And it's like, yeah, I know it's not good. But if you think that you can cook and somebody tries your food and they're like, this actually is not good, that's embarrassing. So I cooked the macaroni and cheese, the yams, and the green beans. And I was like so nervous for people to try them. But it went well. Like everybody had a really good time. Everything went perfectly. So I can't wait for you guys to see that vlog and see kind of the behind the scenes of everything, because I had a really good time and I'm so excited that I did it. Hopefully it'll be something that I do every year. But yeah, my first time hosting, and it wasn't like in my apartment. I had it like on the rooftop of my apartment. Which reminds me, every time you cook for your fiance, like literally, I'm like so nervous, but I'm like, I have to get over it because we've talked about this before on my blogs, though. It's like the stupid pressure of a woman to like, men don't have to know how to cook. And even if they do cook and it's trash, like you just chalk it up to, oh, it's fine, you're a man. Or, oh, you tried, sweetie. But a woman, if you don't know how to cook, it's like, call the police. So, yes, let me go ahead and read some of you all's life updates here in the chat. So, Sydney says that she was chosen to be a co-advisor for one of her youth auxiliary groups in her sorority. That's a mouthful, but congratulations, Sydney. That's exciting. Youth auxiliary groups. So, what exactly does that mean? Is that youth auxiliary in regards to like the step team, the flags? Like, what does that mean? Um, Kendra says Divergent was her movie and she couldn't get into the books. Kendra, I'm judging you, not Divergent. And then maybe if he was like, oh, I actually really like because I get picking up the Divergent book after Hunger Games. Like Divergent literally only was able to crawl because Hunger Games like ran at full speed. It was like everybody was thirsty for something after Hunger Games. So clearly like Divergent filled that spot for some people, but after you watch the first movie, are there even multiple movies? I don't know. I don't think I've ever been able to make it through even the first movie. It's like this is actually not good. It's not good. Is this thing focused on me or is it focused on my little tree back there? Hold on. I wonder if I could zoom y'all in a little bit. Period. Maybe not that close. Oh my gosh, y'all almost spilled my tea. That would have been tragic. Okay. I don't know if that looks any different. But yeah, I'm judging you for Divergent. Oh, thank you so much, Lounging with D. Make sure y'all hit that like button. Hunger Games is a fave. I can't wait to have time to watch the new one. Yeah, I cannot wait. Okay, so how many books are in the Black Cake series? Is it just one book? But then I also heard that the TV show kind of goes off and it's not like the book at all. So tell me if you watched the movie. I mean, if tell me if you've only watched the show or if you've also read the book because I would love to read the book and then get into the series. Right now I'm currently watching Scandal. I think I told you guys because I'm in my Scandal area. Scandal era because, I've been working in the city on Capitol Hill. Oh, welcome to Moco. You just moved to Montgomery County in Maryland from North Carolina, and you love your new nursing job in Virginia. Congratulations. Here from Indiana, in my 40s, going back for my bachelor's degree in nursing. You're a junior in college now. I was scared at first, but I'm doing great. I'm killing it in nursing school. God's plan. Congratulations. I'm so proud of you. That is amazing. We mentor girls through different age groups. Oh, cool, cool. Insurgent. Is that the second Divergent? Child. She said, yes, there's three. Child. Okay. Kudos, whatever. Okay, so I think that concludes our community updates. We're gonna let Kendra enjoy her Divergent series by herself. She's literally alone in the chat. I'm just kidding. I'm just playing with you, Kendra. Okay, so we did our tea time, did our community updates. Now let's spill the tea, honey. Now, normally this is where we dive into the hottest pop culture stories. We share our thoughts. So I normally like debrief the story, and then I ask you for you guys' opinions. You can either tell me mop or flop. But I think we are all going to disapprove of this one and say it's a flop because when I looked, oh, I'm sorry. Before we move on, I forgot to check my Instagram stories. If you guys are not already, follow me on Instagram at Brelynn.hunt. But I also shared like questions on here. So, we have some more updates online. Okay, so someone passed their first top 100 drugs pharmacy test with a 94%. Let me tell you what, pharmacy is so hard. When I had to take pharmacology, I was like, it is just like, it's not even just memorization. It is memorization, but it's like literally learning a different language. And I know I say that with a lot of different things, but it just kind of blows my mind how hard this stuff actually is. Next up, Gorgeous Gabby did her first undergraduate research. I don't know if it's her project or presentation, and it placed first. Congratulations. What did I say? My subscribers are smart because please be for real. That's amazing. Congratulations. It's actually one thing to like do research, especially as an undergrad, but then for it to be good enough to place first because you're going against everybody who's also like really smart. Congratulations. Let's see here. I got out of my depression funk. Small accomplishment, but it was a struggle, honestly. Congratulations. I'm very, very, very happy for you because I know how hard that can be. And sometimes it really is just a matter of like timing. So we'll get back to a couple more of these once we beauty and brains for a reason, period. Oh, you say you're not alone, Kendra. That's nice of you, Joya. That's nice. You know what, Shannon? I know that you think the new Hunger Games is not going to be as good, but I think it's going to be different, but I do think it's going to be good. First of all, it's been a lot of years. So I think that although we have an expectation, I tried not to watch like any of the previews beforehand because I wanted to just have the characters like faces, whatever I came up with in my mind, and not the faces who I was going to see. And then now that I've finished, I've been watching the previews and I'm like, wait, which character is which? Because I'm actually kind of confused. Only person that I know was that Viola Davis is playing Dr. Dang, how'd I figure her name? Dr. Gull. Um, and I'm excited about that because like to be the villain is like she's gonna be so good. She's gonna eat. But I say that to say that in one of the previews, somebody literally said, this is the best Hunger Games movie yet. I was like, okay, T, like that's a big deal. So go in with an open mind. That's all I'm saying. Anyway, so we are going back to spill the tea. And everybody in the Instagram DMs was telling me to talk about this. And I don't want to talk about it because it's sad. Oh, first of all, let me make a disclaimer. There is something that is obviously going on with the world right now that we could talk about. But this is a safe space where we're going to like decompress from things. And not to say that it doesn't like deserve time like for influencers and things to speak about. But I also saw this could actually be a tea thing as well. There was this thing online where I guess a Latina influencer on TikTok was kind of talking about uh the genocide, and because I'm not even going to say it's a war, and she was kind of like calling people to action, which is cool, but she was also like condemning them for not speaking up. And in my personal opinion, when it comes to like just anything on the internet, first of all, you shouldn't be like forced to do it. You also shouldn't do it if you're uneducated about it. And I think that it can be, I get people's perspective where it's like, oh, if you have a large platform and you post about it, the people who wouldn't know anything about it then would know something about it and then know how to make a difference. But if you don't know as well, and this is not something that like people would come to you for, then you posting something, sometimes it's just more noise and it's drowning out the people who actually do know the resources, who like just posting like, tell me the resources, like tell me where to, you're just like everybody else. And in my opinion, it's kind of like, don't just post something to make it seem like you know what's going on and posting it. Like actually sit back and listen. There is a difference between being silent when there is time to speak up, but then there's also a point where it's like you shouldn't be speaking up just to speak up if you don't know what you're talking about, if you don't know what you believe in, if you don't know what you support and things like that, just because you have a large following. I think that everybody being so loud and speaking every time something comes up actually dilutes the message. That's my personal opinion. So I thought that it was kind of counterintuitive that this influencer was um, forcing people to speak out, especially people who were of the Latin community, because it's like, I see what she was saying in regards to, because this has nothing to do with like your demographic. You feel like it doesn't pertain to you, but if they were killing off Latinas, then you would have something to say. That's fair, but I think that that's just human race courtesy. Like just because it's not happening to your race, like you should still feel something because it's happening to people in the world. It's still happening to children in the world. It's still happening to doctors in these hospitals around the world. So I get what she was saying, but I also feel like that point is negated because if a person is going to care, they're going to care regardless, not only if you compare it to like what your race is. Like I don't only care about things that have to do with Black people, although I do care about things that happen with Black people and things like that. So yeah, I don't know. I thought it was a very like interesting conversation, especially because then afterwards you saw like this influx of Latina creators kind of create statements, and then people were kind of like, well, it's too late now, and like you're only saying this because so and so said to say it, and then like they're crying on social media, and it's like I can't win, because it really, I wouldn't say it's not their business to say anything in the first place, but if they didn't feel comfortable, called, or equipped to say something in the first place, then they shouldn't have been forced to and bullied to by the internet. So that is just my two say on that. I would love to know what you guys think. I know that it's kind of an uncommon opinion. I think a lot of people, especially if you're not in the public eye, it's kind of like you should be posting about it, like this thing is happening. Um, I think that you can be aware of things and that you can have an opinion of things and that you can find out things or even share things like once you know about it as well. But like everybody shouldn't just be, it can just get like, yeah. Let me know what you guys think about that. In my opinion, that situation is a flop. Like forcing influencers to post about social issues that they don't care about is a flop. And it's not that they don't care about. Let me rephrase that. Social issues that are like out of their expertise or like out of their like original content too. Like it just can be a bit interesting. Okay, this next thing that I'm going to talk about, excuse me, y'all, a little nasally. Y'all wanted me to talk about this as well on Instagram. And it says that Keke Palmer obtained a restraining order against her son's father after alleged violence. Domestic violence. Why I say violence? Domestic violence. This is immediately a flop. Anything DV, first of all, I'm so sorry, trigger warning. Flop. Absolute flop. Absolute flop. My heart broke so bad. I don't even have the language to describe. Like, absolute flop. I'm so sad. We were just talking about Keke Palmer because I love Keke. I love Keke. I love Keke Palmer. And so to have like this extremely emotional year. I think it's just so much for her. And like even when she's high, somebody tries to bring her down and she just keeps coming back time and time and time again. But like it's exhausting to fight. That's literally the book that I was talking about. Black girls must die exhausted. Like why do we have to constantly be fighting? Like here it was like, oh, she finally finds out who she loves and who she wants to have a baby with. Did we want her to wait to have a baby a little bit later when she was more, established in her career or married? Sure. But we were happy that she was happy. And then it was like, dang, but now you're having a baby. Now your career is going to be, not as good as it was before. And she proved us all wrong. And she ended up having like the best postpartum career that anybody, I feel like, in recent years in media has ever had. And then this whole situation with her going to the Usher concert happened. And then she was like, okay, snap back. Not only am I not going to talk about that drama, but now I'm going to be featured in all this stuff with Usher and I'm going to be in his music video. And it's like she keeps like literally she's the definition of Michelle Obama's when they go low, we go high. Like she would just, you never hear her talk about things. You never hear her address things. You only hear her just coming back better than before. And you have to admire her for that. Like you have to just give her flowers for that. And it's like, because of that, we've been rooting for her. Like we always love her. We've always loved Keke, but it's like, now more than ever, we're rooting for you, Keke. And so then to see this, it's kind of just like, dang, this is the last thing that I would have want. I mean, I wouldn't want anybody to experience this, but especially not somebody who we are loving and rooting for so much. So, in the article that I pulled here, it said that there are alleged multiple instances of physical violence, and the filing for the restraining order included screenshots of what appeared to be security footage of a male striking a female over a sofa. Keke also alleged that Jackson, her boyfriend, abused her multiple times over a 2-year period. Flop, 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 flop. Which then also makes me even more sad, which is why it's like we shouldn't be speaking about things that we have no idea about, because of course now people are coming up with videos like, oh, look at this live. You could tell that he was abusive then. Child, you ain't know that man was abusive then. You ain't know. Nobody knew. We thought that he, should have maybe proposed to her, or that he wasn't maybe as, famous as her. But to me, I was like, if she likes it, I love it. He's a cute boy. Like, let's go with it. But to know that she was suffering in silence for 2 years breaks my heart. It absolutely breaks my heart. So for right now, it looks as though Keke has temporary sole custody of her infant. That's what makes this even sadder, is that there's a child involved. I'm like, luckily they're not married, but having a child is not just as bad, but it is just as binding, if not more so binding than marriage. So her son Leo, yeah, it's a rough flop, not for her. We're not flopping Keke, we're flopping DV. We're flopping uh Jackson. We're flopping the fact that like black women must die exhausted, that we always have to fight, that we can't just have a safe space to fall in love and be soft and be safe. That's the flop, not Kiki. So yes, that's so true. She literally turns lemons into lemonade. Absolutely. So yes, she has temporary sole custody of her infant because she filed a domestic violence restraining order, which typically lasts 3 to 3.5 weeks. It says here that they are almost always granted, almost regardless of what the allegations are, as long as there are some sort of allegations of abuse, and that the court will typically grant sole legal and physical custody to the parent making the allegations. Also, there was this thing, I'm not on Twitter, so I did my research beforehand, so I kind of knew what I was talking about here. Apparently, Kiki's mom tweeted that, well, it was like a subtweet. It started with the, who we think the is, the most disgusting, vile, abusive, manipulative person I have ever, in all caps, encountered in my entire life. That's a bold statement. And it's like, the tweet has been deleted because Kiki don't play that. She don't play that. She does not respond. She goes higher. So she probably was like, "Mama, ain't nobody tell you to say that. And Mama, please, I don't care if you don't like this man. This is still the father of my child, which is so sad. You gotta be careful. You have these babies with." But that is like for your mom to say disgusting. Those are like those characteristics: disgusting, vile, abusive, manipulative that you've ever encountered in your entire life. Like, how are you going to go back from that? I just pray for her and I wish for her strength. It also looks like the only thing that he said on his Instagram, I mean, no, he on his Twitter, because he love a good ex, honey. He shared a photo that showed him holding his son, and he wrote, "I love you, son. See you soon." Let me take a sip on that. Let me take a Wendy Williams shade sip. Mm. Boy, you ain't gonna be seeing that boy soon. Okay. If it's up to the internet fam, all the aunties of Leo, you ain't gonna be seeing that boy. Um, and the last thing that I will say is that I did just see something today on Instagram that Kiki is hosting the BET Soul Train Awards, which is cool. We know Kiki keep a bag, Palmer. Okay, period. She's been booked. I'm sure she had this booked months ago. But what's interesting is that she said she was going to be hosting it live from her house. Obviously, I'm sure she didn't plan that she was going to be putting in this um what do you call it, restraining order. So I'm very curious to know, like, I'm sure it's her house. Let's be honest, they're probably living at her house. So I'm hoping that she kicked him out. But then also when it comes to stuff like this, like for your safety, sometimes like you need to leave because they know where you live, even though there's a restraining order. So I'd be very curious to see like how that's gonna work. Especially because that's gonna be like her first like live thing, her first like work thing since all these like allegations. So I wish her the best. I'm praying for her. Um, this is a big flop when it comes to it. The Soul Train Awards, that's a great question that I don't have the answer to. Let's see. I know it's going to be on BET, and they are going to be on Sunday, November 26th from 8 to 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So yeah, if you guys want to watch that on BET, I don't think I've ever watched the Soul Train Awards before, but I mean, also social media will let me know what happened, especially when it comes to Kiki. But if I just happen to be, chilling, maybe I'll turn it on to watch her. But I just want to end off this Spill the Tea segment saying that if you are experiencing domestic violence, you definitely can call the National Domestic Violence Hotline. And the number is 1-800-799-7233, or go to thehotline.org. All calls are toll free and confidential, and the hotline is available 24/7 in more than 170 languages. On that note, let's get into a peer mentorship session. Whoa. I don't know if my mouth just got a lot of juice in it today or what, honey, because why did I almost say the wrong word? um, apparently, hold up. Kiki Palmer's mom had an audio leak. Literally everybody just said Kiki Palmer. All these are just Kiki Palmer. I don't know what the audio leak is. Did anybody hear the audio leak from Kiki Palmer's mom? That's tea. I also want you guys' advice on this for this peer mentorship session, because somebody says that she got picked. This is Keandra, actually. We competed together at Miss DC. She said that I got picked to serve as a nursing student's mentor and I needed help because it's my first time. So, what is your advice for if you are a person, a mentee, and you're looking for a mentor? What is something that you feel like you would want to tell, like, your future mentor? And vice versa, if you are a mentor and you have a lot of mentees, what's some advice that you would give this person? Go ahead and put that in the chat. And then we also have a question here. Well, I guess I can share about this first. So I actually just did. Do I have OneNote on this computer? I don't think I do. Oh, you know what? I have it on my phone. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Because I actually just attended a workshop about mentorship and networking with my job. And I actually thought it was very interesting because what I've realized is that I often look for my mentors to be what I actually think a professional coach is. And so I was kind of listening more and more to the presenter speak about it. And I think that I'm going to look into getting a professional coach. Somebody, they were kind of saying the difference, like a mentor is like a cheerleader, whereas a coach is a coach. And it's like a cheerleader can be like, you're on the right path, you're doing good, go, keep going. Whereas a coach could be like, this game plan isn't working. Like, let's think of something new. Let's start from scratch. Let's, a mentor can be an advocate for you. They can speak about you in rooms that you're not at yet and, like, help you network and things like that. But a coach is not necessarily the same thing. So I'm so sorry, you guys. I don't know why I'm like so stocked up, but one of the things for mentorship is identifying what a mentor is. So you have to determine, both as a mentor and as a mentee, specifically like as a mentee, like what it is that you need from a mentor. Um, and when you are researching your prospective mentors or your mentees, you have to think about the people who are like already in your network. So that way you can continue to connect with people who are like not too far off. That way it's not too awkward. When you're identifying a mentor, the mentee should make the initiative with the mentor, or vice versa. And a lot of it is that you should, once you meet with a person for the first time, don't like outright ask for them to be your mentor. See if you guys have a good relationship, reflect afterwards, and then determine if it's working out for you guys, if you guys click, and then determine if a follow up is desired. And then also allow your relationship to evolve organically and commit to 3 or more meetings. And then also be appreciative and put advice into practice. And that's what you should do as a mentee. So yeah, going back to this conversation about like a mentor versus a coach, they were saying like a mentor is like a crutch, whereas like again, a coach helps sharpen you. Um, and then she also talked about how like mentor is obviously free and coaches you have to pay for, but depending on your job, you can get them to pay for it, because you can talk about how like it's increasing your skill set and that how you'll be better for it because you'll be offering your organization and your company new things. So I thought that that was a very interesting thing that I didn't think about. And when it comes to like your mentor mentee relationship, again, as a mentee, like you definitely want to focus on being teachable and being open to critical feedback, because that's what it's all about, like listening to other people. But at the same time, you have to be able to take what you can use and then leave the rest. Like you don't want to, you want to be a sponge, or I think there's another phrase for it. I can't remember, where something along the lines of like, is it a sponge? Take what you need and like leave the rest, because like just because they're your mentor doesn't mean that they like control you or they're your boss or that you have to do what they say. Obviously, you should trust them. Why am I like so what is happening here? You should trust them enough to be able to want to do what they say. But sometimes, even if they have their best intentions for you, sometimes it's like, oh, I don't necessarily want to do that. And that's okay. So take what you can use and leave the rest of it. And then I think what's really important for both a mentor and a mentee is to specify your expectations. So share your goals and your fears, both as a mentor. Like, my goals are to make sure that after a year, you are in a job that you love, or after a year you have a publication out, or after 3 months your LinkedIn profile has improved. Like, whatever you feel like your skill sets are and how you can actually give that to another person. But again, like, specifying those expectations. And then also, I think the fears, which may be best for a mentee and not necessarily a mentor. Because if I was a mentee, I wouldn't want my mentor to be like, well, I'm really afraid that you're not going to blah, blah, blah. But maybe it's just along the lines of like, I'm really afraid of this, or these are my challenges, and this is how I would like your help. And lastly, which I think is really important, is discussing how to best measure the success and effectiveness of your working relationship together. So this is something that, again, either a mentor or a mentee can bring forward. I think it's best, especially if it's like a person's first time having a real mentor, then it's best if the mentor can kind of like lead the conversation, or I would say like lead the standards. But I think that the mentee should lead the conversations. So what I think is really helpful is that a mentor can say like, yes, I agree to be your mentor. These are the things that I'm willing to provide for you. What are you looking for? Okay, I'm taking those things in based off of what you want and what I can do. These are the things that I feel like our relationship would be able to do for each other. And then after you guys have that like settled in my opinion, I think the mentee should reach out to the mentor every time they have like updates, or they want help with something, or things like that. So, thank you. You've been following me since freshman year of college. Oh my gosh. We've come a long way. We've come a long way, honey. We not in Kansas no more. I want a cheerleader, but also someone resourceful. That's actually very fair. And I would say that a lot of times your mentor is resourceful. I think that your mentor can be a resource to you. That goes into the advocacy part. For sure. Double majors. Yes. Does anybody else have anything else to add to that conversation in regards to mentorship? I think that you should feel genuinely passionate and equally knowledgeable. That's very true. That's very, very good. I think that coaches you can probably like find on Instagram, LinkedIn, and all types of like social medias, or Google. They probably also have like websites that if you Google, probably will have like blog posts and stuff that excuse me, that come up when it comes to mentors. Usually, I mean, same thing, LinkedIn. Why am I so gassy? Like, what is happening? Is it the tea? I'm like, do I need to drink more of it? Do I need to drink less of it? Like, what is happening? Um, but yeah, definitely like on social media, or like in person, like when you go to events where there's panelists, or when there's a summit or conferences, or like things like that. And then you can reach out to people in person and then ask. Oh yes, I remember them days. Ah yes. Ah yes. But yes, hopefully I gave you guys some tips. If anybody has anything else to add to that, please leave it in the chat, and um I will add to that. And also, somebody here on Instagram said to be sure to follow people on social media who are working in the career field that you want to be in. You can network with them when you see that they are posting events that you can attend. And then I also have somebody here who says that it's challenging finding a mentor. Oh, I don't, and I think it's like specifically a Black mentor, or maybe that's a Black doctor, or like a Black mentor who's in the medical field, which is also very true. But I will say that just because a person is Black, just because she's a woman, just because she like has the career that you want, doesn't mean that she would be the best mentor for you. I know we want one that looks just like us, and but sometimes you can actually get what you need from somebody who doesn't look like you. So just be open-minded when it comes to your mentors. Like, of course, if they're willing and you are meeting somebody and all those things, like for sure make it happen. But if it's, not happening, like don't make or break your whole mentorship relationship Yeah, exactly. It can be a hindrance limiting yourself that way. I found that out the hard way. Sometimes my mentors look just like me, and sometimes I'm like, oh, I wouldn't have expected for you. But if you are invested in me and you want to see me do well, and you are going to give me the resources, the tools, the whatever it is, like, then I will accept that because you are invested in my success. And why am I spending all this time and my energy with somebody who is not willing to invest in my success, and there's somebody who is like, sometimes we can be our own haters. Love us, but sometimes we can be. Okay, we're going to close out with community cheerleading. I want to take the time to give some shout outs to our active community members and acknowledge again any significant contributions or achievements that we've made this week, because celebration is liberation. Nothing is too small. So, again, leave a comment in the chat so that we can celebrate all the fantastic things that we are accomplishing together. If you down, I'm down. That's how you have to be when it comes to mentors. I know that's right. Okay, let's start off here on Instagram. I was awarded a prestigious award at my hospital for helping saving a life. Oh my gosh, congratulations. Saving a life. Yes, doing exactly what you are called to do. Congratulations. I start my dermatology internship this morning. Kobe, congratulations. Oh, she said this Monday. Did I say morning? This Monday. Congratulations, Kobe. I'm so excited for you. I've allowed myself to rest without feeling guilty. Hashtag law school life. Girl, congratulations. Because let me tell you, that is real. That is so real. Like, that is so real. Every day feeling like you have to do something, when it's kind of just like, what actually is best for me today is to rest and recoup. That way tomorrow I can actually give it my all. You graduate Saturday. Oh my gosh, congratulations. Are you excited? You say you're so ready. I know that's right, girl. I'm so excited for you. Yay, congrats. There's nothing like a graduation after all your hard work. Okay. Also, if you have a community member, you're tired, and that's right. If you have a community member who you want to shout out to, drop their name with a brief message of appreciation in the chat. I just want to continue to see this chat filled with appreciation and celebration and gratitude. Yay, look at all those shout outs pouring in. Again, I want to thank you all for being an incredible support for each other, because that's what makes our community so special. And I am literally now just realizing that I think I skipped my prayer. How did I skip my prayer? Even though we are at the end, I'm going to end this with my prayer, because I'm going to say this prayer every single community time. Okay. Okay. Dear Heavenly Father, as we gather here today on this platform of the Beauty and Brains community, we come before you with gratitude and hope, open hearts. We recognize the power of community connection and the exchange of wisdom, and we seek your guidance and blessings for this gathering. We thank you for bringing us together and ask that you may grant us the wisdom to be kind and compassionate mentors to one another, to uplift and support our fellow community members in their pursuits, and to celebrate their successes as if they were our own. In times of doubt or uncertainty, may the Beauty and Brains community be a place of solace and encouragement, a reminder that we are not alone in our journeys. We ask for your protection over this community, both online and offline, and may it thrive, grow, and make a positive impact on the lives of all who participate. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Sorry about that, you guys. I don't know why I skipped past my own prayer. But let's see. I'm so glad that you enjoyed this, Nia. You have a whole new respect for teachers. Oh my gosh, I understand that for real. Come on, benediction. Yes, and we're not done with community cheerleading, okay? You passed your first 2 tests in your pharmacy course. Congratulations. I'm telling you, pharmacy ain't no joke. Thank you all so much for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed this community time with Brelynn. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Hope it filled your cup and it keeps you going for the rest of your week. Stay blessed, stay Black, and have a great rest of your week. Love y'all. Bye.